real right now.
Mr. DL.
222 222. Who's off? I could just lose your mind.
Yo.
Okay, no yoing.
Yes. Oh, Christmas tree.
Oh,
as you can see, yes, we are here at the 98th episode of the Danger Zone podcast, and as you can see in the background, Christmas is tomorrow.
It's the holidays.
Christmas tomorrow, so
I love the tree, the decor. We got the stockings.
yeah.
You know, that looks like a cozy little holiday. That could be a Hallmark movie background.
Yeah. So we're here with.
If you raise it up, you can see the Let me raise up. You might be able to see the big shook tree back there. I don't know. Let me get out the way.
We seen the whole thing while you were up. Thank God.
That's
what we were talking about.
I jumped in front of it. I didn't even know what time it was.
So we're here with Big Shug, Mr. DL, Chef Tanya. 98th episode. We have B Fine stopping by.
Episode 98, man, from various locations at the Danger Zone podcast. And this week we have a special guest, B Fine from the iconic group Full Force, from the iconic movies, the house party, and just Lisa Colt Jam, all them joints. You know, I was there, so you know what I mean. Now, I'm pleased to have you on here. We got B Fine. What's up, brother?
Hey, what's going on, my brother? How you doing? How's everybody?
I'm good.
Good, man.
I'm good, man.
Okay.
I'm good. It's crazy for me because when my brother Avrex had told me about you coming on or what have you. So that whole movement from the beginning, you know, with Full Force and you know, just y'all coming out and moving up or whatever. Like me and Guru was always at, you know, we were starting our little journey at that time. So that we would go to all the shows and all the different, you know, stuff that Cass was doing or whatever, you know. So I'm in tune to everything, but I would like for you to just kind of let the people know, you know, how you guys. I know you guys are brothers, three of you, you and a couple of other guys, but you know how you came together and how this journey started for Full Force and B Fine.
Well, that's a hell of a long journey.
I'm sure. You be sure this number one.
Wow, how far do I go back? Well, okay, well, it started with me and my two brothers, Paul and Oleg Lou and Paul Anthony. The three of us, since we were kids. We've been in the entertainment business since I was 7. I'm the youngest of the three of us. Since I was like 7, my father he had us together as a group, the three of us. It was Lou, Paul, and Brian, and it was known as the Amplifiers. As kids, as little kids, we played the Apollo Theater, amateur night. We won that 3 times in a row. First place. And from there, we used to perform at, you know, all the local parties and things like that. And then we grew into like just a real popular local group, you know. And then as we got older, and like around junior high school for me, I got heavily into drums. And then I got with the guys on that lived in East Flatbush. We moved from Bedside to East Flatbush, and we formed our band. And then Lou said, "Hey B, why don't me and Paul join the band?" So now that's how we became Full Force. We've been Full Force since I was in junior high school. And
so, are you the younger or are they younger?
I'm the youngest between me, Boleg Lou, and Paul Anthony.
Okay. Yeah.
And we was really popular as a local band in New York. We played, we was like the first band to play in the Harlem World, opening for the Cold Crush Brothers. That was a hell of an experience. Oh my God.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
But all of that, shows like that, helped us generate such an acceptance to play. We was like one of the only few bands that could ever play hip hop crowds. But we was trying to get a deal, you know, and we couldn't get signed. We had demo tapes and every label turned it down. So our partner, who's our co-management, Steve Salem, he said to us, he said, you know, you guys should start producing, producing people and see, what happens and bring some light to yourselves. I love that idea. I loved it. So what happened is I came up with this idea to do this rap record. And I met this kid who was a couple years younger than me at a talent show. I was really going up there to get at him because he was a pain in the ass to my girlfriend. What happened is that they was doing this talent show. And Mike from Cult Jam, who was just our friend, our homie at the time, he said, I'll point the kid out. And he pointed him out. And my thing was to get at him, but they were so dope as dancers, I was like, damn, this kid is dope. And I approached him and I was like, yo, I think that, you'd be dope dancing in our show with our band and stuff like that. And, he loved that deal. And that kid was Kango Kid from UTF.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So then later on, what happened, he would tell me how, I could rap, this, that, and the third. So he brought in Dr. Ice and he said, yeah, I got this other kid. And I was like, I don't think we need anybody, but he vouched for him. Yeah, Kango's a voucher for him, his whole crew. And he brought in the other kid, Educated Rapper.
Right.
And then what happened is that I came up with we did this little demo joint. And at 3 a.m, right before we released it, I had the idea for the B-side, and I remember waking up 2 a.m. and I told my mom, I said, yeah, Mom, I'm gonna do this song named Roxanne. I got this idea for the singing part of everything. And she asked me, why Roxanne? And I said, I don't know. I said, the Police did a song called Roxanne and it worked for them. So that was my lead.
Right.
Yeah. So I came with the hook. I just had this idea to do 3 separate beats. And all I knew is that I was going to do, one of them was going to rap on Big Beat. Kango was so enamored with the beat he made up. And if everybody know Kang is very confident and he's very enthusiastic. May he rest in peace.
Rest in peace, yeah, Kango Kid.
And Kang was just excited about the beat he had. So I'm like, so damn, Kango's not going to rap on it. And then I think I called Doc will do it. Nope, and then Doc fell in love with a different beat because my whole idea was to do 3 separate beats. And then Educated Rapper, I didn't know if he would be the one for it because he didn't have the personality that Doc and Kango had. Lyrically, he's cool. But I remember telling him, say, yo, E, all right, you're going to rap on Big Beat. You got to kill that, man. He's like, I think I got something. I think I got something. And damn did he. And his whole part, became the most famous part of Roxanne.
Right.
And then we put it out on this independent label, Select Records. And the shit just took off. That was just such a surreal feeling to be walking down Brooklyn, downtown the Albert Square Mall, and I'm watching little girls go crazy. This dude walking by with a box playing it, and they're running behind him. The car driving by is blasting it. Dudes on the corner singing it. I thought it was like somebody's playing a trick on me because it was just so surreal, crazy. It was like Back to the Future. It was crazy.
Wow, so that's dope.
That record disc was such a phenomenon. it spawned 37 answer records. From Roxanne, Shantae. That record gave Shantae a career. You know.
Right.
So the other rappers passed on being on that song because they already had a beat. So you're basically you're saying.
Well, no, they didn't pass on it. They was on it. They just had Kango had his beat.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Doc had his beat, and Educated Rapper.
He got what was left.
He was the one to rap on Big Beat. So it was 3 separate beats, and then
I see.
Educated Rapper rapped on the most famous part. Which was Big Beat. And the song just took off and The rest was history. But I was always thinking of the next thing. Because right as that took off, I was like, yo, I don't want people just to think we just do hip hop and that's it.
Yeah.
So I said, I got this idea, man. I had this idea for a while. I want to do this song, but I want to do it with a Hispanic young lady, man. I want to do I want to get like a Puerto Rican girl to sing it. My reason for that was at that time coming up, see, my mother is Black and Dominican. A lot of people don't know that. My mother's Black and Dominican. My father's from the St. Virgin Islands. So the three brothers, of course, we are wild, ethnic background.
Right.
You know? And see what the Hispanic brothers and sisters that I grew up with, they were just like, their vibe was like, the way you would see J-Lo or Fat Joe. I didn't grow up with like a Ricky Martin type. And, I knew Mark Anthony. Mark Anthony was about that. Like, at the Funhouse. That's what I was used to. But there was nothing out here that represented the Hispanic community like that. The Hispanic community that I grew up with was close to the Black community. The way they moved, the handball court, where we hung out.
He said handball. I feel you on that one.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I would tease the shit out of my friends. And I would say, yo, man, y'all don't want no real music, man. Y'all into menudo. And they would get mad. They say, yo, I'm not into that, man. That's my brother.
I understand, because menudo's pop. So I understand what he's saying.
Menudo was her first concert.
Yeah, but see,
like
the deal is,
relax.
but when you're like real street light, that was almost like you would never admit that you like Menudo.
Yeah,
it's like New Kids on the Block.
That was that's what I'm saying. That was like a pop group. I was a little girl. That was totally
you
appropriate.
wouldn't do that. So the deal is, I was auditioning girls, and none of them was like, that street flavor. And a Mike from Culture Jam said, B, I know what you're looking for. I think I got this girl. I think that might be
wanted
perfect.
a New Yorican.
Yeah. And I knew Mike knew, because we used to hang out. I said, yeah, where we met her at? And when he said, at the Fun House, at this club. Oh, I knew that, she was it. And then he brought her to the basement. And it was Lisa. And I just looked at her. And when I just looked at her, I said, oh, hell yeah. Oh, yeah.
He said he looked at her.
Oh, hell yeah. She got that look. She was like, yo, what's up, y'all? I said, yeah. And then, the rest was history with that. We put that record out independently on another label. Yeah, that took off like Roxanne did. It's one thing to have a record on the radio, but it's another thing to have the record and then to do it twice. To have the record that you can't have a party unless they play that record.
Right.
It's a hell of a thing. I went into Bentley's and everybody's going crazy. They knew the record. I'm like, how did they know this record?
Right.
And it just took off. And Lisa said it was so surreal for her because she was working at a clothing store called Benetton's at the time.
Oh, yeah. United Colors of Benetton.
Yeah. And we just told her, nah, don't quit your job until you absolutely have to. And she said it was crazy to be working at the job and hearing her song on the radio.
Yeah.
And then eventually we had to go to her job and say, all right, Lise, you gotta quit now.
Yeah, it's time to go. It's time to move on.
It's crazy how that works.
Yeah.
Will Smith had a Grammy. Will Smith had a Grammy and was still riding the city bus. Like, it's just crazy how that works out,
Yeah, how about that?
It's crazy about because shout out, and I believe he might have just passed Ruby D, the rapper. Remember he was in that, I forget what the group was, but he was the early Puerto Rican ramen. You know what I mean? And he was nice. Everybody thought he had that line where, his name Ruby D, he's Puerto Rican. You might think he's black by the way he's speaking. Like when he even hit that line, it was like, yo, he was nice, but he's Puerto Rican dude. The thing is, being like around 83, maybe I want to say, it could have been 84, something like that. So we started like get with that whole movement. They had a club called Lansdowne in Boston, and so that's where UTFO came. You know what I mean? And that whole Roxanne and with you guys and all that, we rode through that whole thing. Like I just even seeing you, I'm just saying, damn. Because y'all was on like all the magazines. They had a dance out called The Hype. Remember The Hype?
Oh, damn. I think I remember that.
So they had a dance called the Hype, and like because of three of y'all brothers were kind of muscular. Everybody wasn't, but everybody thought the whole group was just because how y'all look.
Right. Yeah.
So
that's crazy how that
say
works.
a little thing like
that's crazy. It was really.
And they say, huh?
No, I'm saying it was really me and my brother Paul, but it took on a life of its own as the whole group that was heavily into working out.
I'm hip. So girl, there was a bunch of girls who always be talking about you and him, like you said, B5 or Paul Anthony, and the Hype dudes are doing the Hype in the video. And I used to be like, yo, to this day, I'd be like, yo, them dudes were doing the strongest looking Hype I've ever seen in my life. It was like a workout. Yo, people know me to be funny a little bit, telling my little jokes, whatever.
Yeah.
But I bring that shit up even I bring it up time to time. I was like, these dudes had to strap me. They looked like they was ready to like just have fun and dancing, but they ready to like beat somebody up. Like,
Yeah.
So
that was fun.
It was
actually, the first movie we did, me and my brother Paul, we did
I was a big fan, man, and
we did Crush Groove. That was the first one we did, actually.
Damn.
Oh yeah, like me, I was a big fan of the whole movement, and still am, obviously. But one thing that was really like cool to me too is when I found out. I don't know if it was from something your brother Bowlegged Lou was saying or whatever, but I found out a long time ago that you guys were doing music and songs for like NSYNC, Backstreet Boys, if I'm correct, and others. Like so, how did that come about? Because it was crazy that your group was so funky and dope, but then you were making hits for these groups. Like, how did that type of situation come about?
That came about when at Jive Records, there was a brother there named Dave McPherson. He was the A&R. Yeah. And he was telling us about, and he knew how we were. He knew he knew that we did anything as far as music.
Right.
And he said, yo, I'm telling y'all, man, these white kids that we have here, man, Backstreet Boys, y'all should get on this, man. Y'all should get on this. I'm telling you, I think it's gonna blow. Because right now they're just kind of hot overseas. And then so we did, and it was just funny because the song we did, it was like the third single, but it was their highest charting single up to this day.
Wow.
On Billboard, All I Have to Give, and that took off, and then we worked with NSYNC, and we did a joint on Rihanna, we did one on Britney. It was a good thing. We was over there in Orlando doing all these different white acts, and we were like, yo, we digging white folks right by now, boy. This is all right, yeah. So it was cool. That was really cool.
So when you're working with like a Backstreet Boys or even like we said James Brown, whatever, are you in the studio with them, or do you just submit them like a reference track, or how does that work?
You know something? We've never done that. We've never just submitted a beat. Yeah. And then them just like send it back with vocals and say, here's what's happening. We've never done that.
Nice.
Okay.
We've always produced hands-on, whether it was NSYNC, whether it was Houdini, whether it was Backstreet, whether it was Lil' Kim, whether it was Rihanna. We've never just submitted a track, ever.
That's dope.
We've always produced them hands-on, because we take a lot of pride in that as far as like producing, because a lot of cats, they're dope beat makers, and that's dope. I know, because I know what that's like to, do that. But producing, like really producing, is different. A lot of times cats get in there, the vocalist gets in there, the rapper gets in there, and they do their thing. They're not really producing them. They're not really like, nah, take the hook, drop it down here. Yeah, what note are you hitting? But we produced Patti LaBelle.
Yeah.
And I know
that's dope.
When we was doing Patti LaBelle, my brother Paul, who's amazing with vocals, he had to do like 12-part harmony in this part. And there was one note in there. And Paul said, yeah, Patty, we're going to do that track over. It's a little sharp. It's kind of off. And she said, oh, no, sweetheart, Miss Patty never goes off. And Paul said, not Miss Patty, it's off. It's kind of tight. He said, sweetheart, trust me. I've been doing this a little longer than you guys. It's not off. He said, all right, hold on. Tony, Give me track. He knew what track it was. Everything he did. Give me number track 8. No, not that one. The other one. Yeah, give me that. All right, play it. Solo it. All right, play it. Played it back. That shit was off. It was slightly off. And I'm sitting there thinking like, yo, is he sure it's off? She had me guessing it, you know?
He's like, this is Patti LaBelle right now.
Yeah, and then he said, Miss Patty, that's off.
She said,
and then she just said, okay, I'm scared of you.
Okay. She gave him his respect.
Yeah, but we produce. I remember we worked with Miss Jones, and she said, damn, this is the first time I ever felt produced. She said, most of the time I work with a lot of hip-hop producers, they just had me get in there. I'm like, all right, so how do you want me to sing it?
Yeah.
They say, I don't know, just feel it.
Sometimes people get overwhelmed if someone's very famous. They get overwhelmed and they don't want to overstep any boundaries that they've put in their own head. And they'll just sit there and they'll let Patti LaBelle sing out of key or whatever it is and not say anything because they feel they can't say anything. But and
it's a lot of things. And you know, a lot of people don't realize that a lot of cats that are producers, especially in hip hop, you got to understand they're really dope at like making beats. You know, everybody's like, let me tell you somebody in hip hop who don't get enough credit is like Jermaine Dupri.
Okay.
I know Jermaine since Jermaine was like 14. I remember when we was on tour, he would open up, him and his kid named Chad dancing on the Fresh Fest. That was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun back then.
In the Fresh Fest,
that was us, Houdini, Fat Boys, Curtis Blow. That was
I went to a few of those Fresh Fest joints. Yeah,
that was a hell of a tour. We was out there for 3.5 months. That shit was a lot of fun. That was very enlightening too, because you know when you're from New York, you think can't nobody tell you shit. We hot, everybody else. We're up, and that's it. But then you go on a tour like that, and you got some squad named the LA Dream Team go, yo, baby, yo, baby, yo. I'm like, what? And people are going crazy. I'm like, that's when you realize, yo, there's other people that's hot outside of New York, man. It was a crazy thing, man. But a lot of rappers, you know, hip hop producers, they're not like Jermaine. What he would do, he's literally writing the hooks. He's literally writing the hooks. He's literally actually doing vocals. He's dope like that. You know, a lot of cats can't do that. And a lot of cats can't express that, you know. But there's a lot who can. There's a lot. Dre is like that too. Dre is dope. You know, so I really admire the cats that go in the studio and really produce. But I also love cats that's just beat makers, because what they do is that they don't get in the way. They know they make their shit hot. They come in there and they let their artist just do his thing. They accept it as that, and cool. They get their production credit, and that's that. So I love both aspects of it, but you know, you really got to look at some of the producers who really go in there and produce. They're able to get the respect of the rapper. Like you could work with like Jay-Z. I know Pharrell is a hands-on producer, like the way JD or the way Timbaland is. These guys are hands-on. They can tell Jay, no, do this part over here. They'll change some of his rap.
Organized.
And you have to get their respect.
Organized Noise. That's a good one. Organized Noise, remember them?
Yeah.
Yeah, like that's
them too.
Yeah.
Them too.
I mean, well,
there's quite a few cats that's really dope like that.
The crazy thing about it is that where I'm from, well, my camp, obviously, you know, Gangstar, DJ Premier, he's the same way, because he has to work.
Yeah, like that.
Like even me going in as a vocalist and seeing like from the likes of Heavy, a good story. I remember one time, rest in peace, he was doing a joint for Heavy D. The thing was totally off. Like it was totally off. Like he even knew you could hear it, and he would tell dude like, "Yo, this is kind of off," you know. And then Heavy D was like, "All right, well, you know, let's do it again." So he did it again, but it was still off. So Premier lines it up. Right, and then when dude comes back, he's like, "Yeah, man, see that it's tight, like you know what I mean." But he don't know it got moved to be put in the right place so it could be on. You know what I mean? So he feels like he did it right, but I mean, I was there for a fact. I seen it like he moved that. But most of the time, the respectful artists too, like him for instance, working with Christina Aguilera, like they know, like when you telling them, like they know, like okay, this dude. We doing more than just making beats, we producing. So they'll respect that. I've seen it in action. So, you know, I understand that wholeheartedly. As we go from
I love beat makers too. I love cats that just do the beats too.
Me too.
Yeah, I do.
I mean, my man right there, Mr. DL, who does the show with me, I believe that he's a beat maker, but he also knows the sound that you're supposed to have. So if he's got to say something, he's going to say something, but he makes beats all the time. So I understand that part of it as well, and I respect it and enjoy that as well. But as we go from that part, another thing was one of my favorite parts about you guys, and was how you slid into the movie House Party.
Oh shit!
And so I know. Well, first and foremost, before we even get into it, so I know about the group, but just for the people who might not, how many members was it? And was one of them your cousin as well?
Yeah, in Full Force there were 6 members. There's 3 cousins and 3 brothers.
Okay.
The 3 brothers are the ones who did House Party. Me and my brother Paul and Lo. Yeah, and that was a lot of fun. The House Party was really like a freestyle mixtape. Really.
Right.
Because what happened is that we got in there, and our lines was like really just very vanilla, just plain and just one lines and the bullies and
Right.
And Lou came with that idea. He said, B, how about me and you switch characters? Because you're bigger than me. And they have you as Pee-wee. I'll be Pee-wee. I'll create this Joe Pesci type of character and we'll do like we did as kids. I said, okay, cool. Because we did this type of thing as kids. Like what we're doing at House Party, we've been acting since we were little kids. We would do plays and our parents watch us and stuff like that. That's why people were shocked. I remember Ralph Turner said, yo, y'all blew me away. But we've been doing stuff like this as kids. And most of our lines, all of our lines, we rewrote them. We rewrote all our lines.
Right.
That's why the Hudson brothers, they deserve a lot of respect for that. They really knew how to let you just go. So what happened is that we're freestyling. And like we're doing things like spontaneous, like even that lunchroom scene where I got Kid up in the air and I'm punching him. Out of nowhere, my brother just went, wait. Okay. Yeah. We didn't plan none of that type of stuff. We would do that all the time. We would just freestyling. We would just do it. And what happened is that it became contagious. Then Kid and Play started adding lines. And then Martin said, okay, so I'm going to go off them. Cool, this is cool. And the Hudson brothers knew when to reel you in. Yeah, keep that. And they was just doing magic by letting everybody go. And everybody started doing their own little thing and creating their own little lines. The dance routine was freestyle. They like came up with that right then and there. The whole movie, the whole cast, it was just love, man. It was like hanging out with family members. We were so tight. That's why even for House Party 2, everybody stuck together and made sure each person got the money they wanted to get. Otherwise, nobody was reporting to the set.
Right.
It was so dope doing House Party. The first one was just, it really was magical. We knew we had something there. What happened while filming it, the producer came down and said, listen, we want to take out all the curses. And we want to just, make it PG-13 because we feel this is going to be big. And we're young. And we're like, nah, fuck that. We're not doing that. Nah. We'll keep the curses. Because we felt if you take out the curses, this shit is fake now. That's the way we felt. Right. And it was genius that they didn't take out the curses and we were stubborn and didn't work with them. We said, we're doing it this way. Because that's part of the thing that creates the authenticity of that movie. There wasn't no like nudity, there wasn't no really violence, but the cursing. Yeah. And the thing about it is that we all cursed far more when we were teenagers than we did as adults. And that's what made it so believable. That fortunately, it just
80s were crazy. With
how old were you when you did that?
Oh shit! I thought I was 30, 29, or 29. Like 29, 30. And so was Kid, and so was Tisha. Because me and Kid are the same age.
Right.
Tisha is a year older or younger than me. I think younger. AJ, anybody was around the same age.
Right.
Everybody was around, the same age that did that.
I think I was too.
Yeah.
That
was a lot of fun, man. That was
so. It was 3 of them, right? 3 house parties or 2?
Yeah, we only did 2. We only did 2. There should have only been really 2.
Which
Yeah,
one?
'cause
Which one
everything
was the
had-
Pajama Jammy Jam? I forget. What was the one that?
That was House Party 2.
Yeah, okay. That was the. I remember the first one. I was probably like 10 when that movie came out. So I remember the first one, but the second one, that one was the one I.
It was the pajamas that did it.
No, that was just that was like that age when that movie came out. That was like big. The second.
Yeah,
one.
those two. It should have been just those two, and then that was it. And see, that's the thing that I
They're redoing it.
I have such respect with Friday, the movie Friday, because people would always compare them, even though they're very different kind of movies. The thing I loved about Friday, I loved the fact that Friday was about two brothers that just did nothing except be on their feet. And what they did is that it was so genius because they were the thread to the life of their neighborhood, you know?
Yeah.
So I really loved, what I loved about Friday is that the authenticity is kept because nobody tried to do it over.
Yeah.
Nobody did it but Cube. So it kept its integrity, you know?
What's cool about
I love Friday because we all had that type of thing as young teenagers or young adults where we couldn't wait to go hang in front of the bodega or hang on this person's stoop or hang out over here in the park and do nothing.
What you were saying about the movie Friday, though, is what's also dope is that movie only has like 5 sets. There's the porch, there's Craig's bedroom, Smokey's bedroom, the store, and outside of the house. You know what I mean? That whole movie takes place with 5 locations. It's crazy.
Yeah, I loved it for that.
And Be Real was supposed to be the dude who gave Smokey the angel dust. I can't remember his name right now.
Okay.
But it didn't work out. But that would have been fire.
One thing I like to ask too, like but where them names come from? Like, where you get that name B5? Like, you know what I mean?
That was the name I had for years. We did a show in Oakland as a local band, and this drunk woman. Here's the story I just tell. The story I would tell is that, we did this show, and there was like 8,000 people, and all of a sudden I was about to do my drum solo, and they said, we got B on the drums. And then this young woman shouted out, B is fine. And then I did my solo and they're going, be fine. The truth is, we did this show. There was like 8 people in the crowd. You know, there was this drunk woman. He said, we got B on the drums. Well, B's kind of fine. And that's how I said it. But I stretched it into something else. But that's how I got this.
It's cool too because as your popularity, ascended like in the beginning. I just know from being around like girls and fans at that time, female fans of full force, they'd be like, "Be fine, it's fine," or Paul Anthony's like, you know what I mean? You know that stuff.
Yeah.
Have you ever had like a crazy fan moment?
Oh yeah, no, see, that's the thing with Full Force. Full Force was really like, black soul, hip hop, rock and roll. We were the only band that could play hip hop. We was on the Fresh Fest. We were the only band that could play hip hop. See, Bobby Simmons would argue and say, "Nah, man, we were the first hip hop band." I said, "Bobby, y'all wasn't a band. Y'all was a bunch of dudes rapping with a drummer." I said, we were a band for real. And then the Quest would be like, "Nah, we was the first hip hop band." Okay, you could say that y'all wasn't a hip hop band. They can get that. And the Quest said, "Y'all was the first hip hop group that was a band." I said, "All right, we'll go with that." But the truth is, we were able to do R&B the way we were, look like a black heavy metal hip hop type of group, and we could play on the tour with whether it's Run DMC, Curtis Blow, Fat Boys, Houdini. We was killing the tour so much, they ended up putting us on Next to Last, and the Fat Boys was headlining.
Wow.
Yeah, remember
that much. They had put us on Next to Last because we were just draining the crowd. We was killing it. And we loved the hip hop crowd. For some reason, because also outside of New York, we had like the Jerry curls, but our whole image was on some hard shit,
Yeah, for sure.
The whole thing was that outside of New York, you had a lot of gangsters that was wearing Jerry curls,
No question.
So we got so much love. You know, dudes like, yo, I love the fact that y'all ain't soft. Y'all come out there and y'all step hard, and you can tell y'all look like rock and roll, but then y'all start talking like, yo, these niggas from Brooklyn. You know, so the deal is our whole mode was just different, and our fan base was crazy. I remember, like, back at the hotel one time, there was the cops there, and I thought they were there to arrest us because Paulie saw his strip during the show. You know, and we was about to go to the hotel, and the cops said, "You guys full force?" I said, "Okay, we're gonna spend the night in jail. No problem." I thought that was what it was. He said, "Yeah, we got to sweat you guys in because we know that most of these women are here to see you guys." So, oh, lovely. You know, it was crazy. Our fan, like Jamie Foxx came to our show when he was like a teenager in Texas, and he remembers our fan base was crazy. We were so underground in such a way that, you know, it was just crazy with us. If they had video and cameras back then, oh my God.
Of course.
Oh my God. We got kicked out of so many hotels. You know, we was really on some other type shit, you know, as far as
it's crazy how you said you know, about like cats. So you looking at y'all like, man, yo, these niggas, they hard. They you know, real dudes like that. With that look, because when I was incarcerated for a bit, it's open book, and when I came out was 90, was the end of 90, and my look was, you know what I mean, muscled out, workout, S-curl, fade, you know what I mean, with the hammer pants on and the little tape, the little muscle piece.
Hold on, and the Tom Selleck mustache, the Tom Selleck, you got the Tom Selleck stash.
Yeah, I had that. So I'm saying. So that was like, and I'm considered like, you know, straight, you know, this is Suge from the street, whatever. So I'm saying when I was seeing that, I already knew, like, I'm like, yo, you know what I mean? This is what the look was at the time. People didn't understand, you know what I mean? So I respected it. I knew exactly what it was. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Plus I could sing a little
bit. NWA was killing it too, you know?
Oh yeah. Well, yeah.
I remember they showed up at our concert at the Amsterdam, at the amphitheater in Cali.
Right.
Doing so with Lisa, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So another question on a more serious note. So as I always, you know, pay attention to, there's a lot of groups of my time and chats and going on. I know that there was a time when your brother Paul Anthony was sick. Oh, very sick, you know, and I kind of personally looked into it somewhat. Because I was like, damn, man, you know, this was the dude, you know. And they had a thing, it was showing him, I guess, exercise and meditating and working on himself. But I mean, in a nutshell, what did he go through and how is he doing now? You know, is he a lot better?
The thing, Paul is one of those dudes that, you know, always has a positive type of outlook, but it's more than that. Paul's in his own world with his confidence. He looks at himself as a lion, and he looks at women as a lioness, and he's very alpha. And the deal is that when he was going through that whole thing, I remember the doctor told him that they said, yo, you may have 4 years to live. You know, and they said that you have mantle cell lymphoma. It's incurable. You know, if you have 4 years, you know, we say 2 years.
Right.
And Paul, I'll never forget, he looked around, he looked at us, he goes, could probably write a few hits in a couple of years if you know. I'm like, I couldn't even think like that. And he said right then and there, he said, you know what? God let this happen to me because he knew that if it happened to any of my brothers, B or Lou, I couldn't be able to take that. He knows that I'm built for this.
Wow.
So I'm ready. Yo, Paul's a different kind of cat. And it's amazing to see somebody and to find out that they are who they say they are. Because you don't know who you are until you're really hit with adversity. You really don't, you know? And Paul would do shit like, they're gonna say, okay, we're gonna go through the most heavy dose of chemo. Paul put on red, like a red, I'll never forget, like a big red shirt and start doing chin-ups on the door. And he said, well, I'm putting red because that's going to symbolize fire. So it's on. So I'm just ready to go to war. And I'm like looking at him going, yeah, my brother's so crazy. He's definitely, his confidence and it was really amazing to see. It's really amazing to see. It should be a movie. I mean, it was just amazing to see. And then after he came out of the operation, because here's the thing, you know, a lot of times you need a stem cell bone marrow transplant, and you could have family members who won't volunteer, and even if they volunteer, they may not be a match. It just happened to be that Lou was the perfect match. I thought it was going to be me because we looked so much alike, but it was actually Lou.
Makes sense. Genetically.
You know, yeah, it was Lou, fortunately. And, you know, Lou was able to give him the cells, and they, you know, the doctor said, he said, listen, make no mistake about it, my friend, you are fighting for your life. Still after doing it. And then after Paul would do this heavy dose of chemo that was like hell, that would zap him and drain him, you know, he would, you know, they hook him up to this thing with, you know, intravenous type of things, and he would go and walk throughout the corridors, you know, walk until he was able to walk at a rapid pace. And what would start to happen is that other patients would be like, are you gonna go walk into the lobby again? He goes, yeah, you wanna come? He said, yeah, I'd like to. He said, okay, here's what's gonna happen. We're gonna go through the lobby, but we're not really here. We're gonna go through Central Park, and when you follow me, when we make that right, yo, we're in Times Square, baby. That's where we're gonna be. And then we're gonna shoot way down towards the cafeteria, but you know where we're at? We're in the jungle, bro. We're in the jungle. He was like that. And before you know it, all the different patients would follow him through the hallway as he walked. That's Paul. That's who he is. And the thing is that, you know, we get that type of energy from my mother and my father, you know, and here he is today. Paul's doing fine. After being on like 36 different medications after that chemo of incurable cancer, here we are 11 years later. And,
God bless.
And the only thing he's on right now is vitamin D3.
Wow. It's amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw part of the story of it, you know, and him telling it, and, you know, and I just, it was so deep because partially of what you have explained, like, you know, he was explaining, he was talking about, you know, and I didn't know exactly what year that was, but to see that this is 11 years later, and you know, are you guys like, have you guys been performing or what's going on? We'll do like shows and stuff like that. Me and my two brothers, like, we'll do shows all over the place still. You know, our focus right now is doing like media and content, because we're putting together, you know, like film projects and stuff like that. That's what we're about to be doing now, you know. But we're doing a lot of stuff right now. So
we're gonna shock the world in a minute.
So the other three members, the cousins, like, so you don't perform together anymore? Or are they still musically?
Once in a while. Once in a while, we'll do something as a whole entire band, you know. Right. But we still do it. And when we do, it's usually something dope. Like, we may do a show with the Gap Band or with Cameo. Right. Do like big shows like that, stuff like that.
Right.
But yeah.
Because if say it's you, Paul, and Lou, so y'all do a show. All three, you play instruments?
Yeah, no, I'll just be the one playing instruments. And like, we'll just do like live tracks, or we'll do it with a band. And then sometimes we'll do it all six of us.
Okay, I see. Man, it's to me, it's like even nostalgic speaking to you, because I just know so much about the group, and as these years go by, and as we still stand here, I started my trek with, rest in peace, Guru. You know, we were fans, like, you know what I mean? And we were making our moves at them times, you know what I mean? So, you know, it's just great for you to be here. DL or Tanya, man, you got something you want to say?
She got T-Bird. Didn't you have something? I thought you said something. You got something?
Oh.
What happened?
Oh.
Yeah, don't get nervous.
We're still
it's only B5.
No, I thought you said something. And
No, I do have a question.
Oh, go ahead.
Let's go.
All the artists and people that you've worked with, who's like one of your top I'm sure you have a lot of them, but who's one of those standouts?
It would probably have to be James Brown.
Well,
Do some James Brown. When we was doing Static and all those type of songs, it would probably be James Brown because it's, you know, when you like see people like Michael Jackson and Prince and like people like James Brown, these type of iconic legends, and I always tell people this, that iconic legends always have a part of them that's stuck in the era where they was most legendary. Even when you see Prince, even when you see Prince or Michael Jackson, the way they look, and that's one thing I love about visual legends like that. You know, James Brown got up the elevator. I'll never forget. He had his bodyguard there, and Reverend Apple Sharpton came with him too. And you couldn't call him James. You had to call him Mr. Brown, which I was cool with. We were all cool with. You know, the elevator door opens, and he had his hair, you know, pressed to the side. He had on these dark shades. He had on this scarf around his neck. He had on this purple suit, and he had on this big black mink coat. And he just stepped up the elevator like, gentlemen. All right, gentlemen. All right, so what are we doing today? What are we doing today? And it was just mind-blowing because I'm like, wow, this is the guy that I imitated as a 7-year-old kid where I would sit into the vacuum cleaner and throw water on my face to act like I was sweating like him. You know? It was amazing. So, you know, there's only 2 people that really awed me because I've been in this since I was, 6 years old. I remember opening up for the Whispers, Joe Tex, Stevie Wonder. So I was always around this thing as a kid. But the 2 people that awed me that we worked with was James Brown and Michael Jordan. You know, we did the whole music for Michael Jordan's, his first huge video called Michael Jordan's Playground. And we did the music. Yeah, and actually we played him a game of 3, and I was the only one that scored on him. I love bragging about that. You know,
that's bragging rights.
Yeah, but yeah, those 2 are the ones that really had me like in most awe. Like, yeah.
It's funny. I did a jazz festival with Guru and I, and Lou Rawls was there, you know, and Lou Rawls had just did a big thing about like how he really didn't like hip hop and stuff like that. So you know, on tour I'm on at breakfast, so I'm always going to the breakfast hour. I'm going to eat, right? So I go down and I see Lou Rawls. I'm like, oh, okay. You know, I go up next to him. I'm like, hey, how you doing? And I'm in awe, but I'm cool because I feel like this is the movement. Like this is who we dealing with. So like you're gonna run it. I mean, I had to do stuff with Stevie Wonder. I had to do some stuff with Levert. You know what I mean? So Eddie Levert. So it's like, you know that you're gonna run into these people. So I really sat with him. We eating, and you know, they got a buffet. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, you know, and at the whole time, my father used to be one of them dudes who used to be like, he was a singer, but he also would always be like, Lou Rawls was Uncle Tom. You know what I mean? This is my pops would tell me. You know what I mean? So now I'm with Lou Rawls. I'm at the breakfast. You know,
you heard it here first.
So we're talking, and I'm talking to him about the hip hop thing, and he was like, well, you know, it's always like negative and blah blah what he had said, and I said, nah, it's not really all like that. It's different views of it, or different types of the music. So I said, you should come see us perform. This was during the festival. So then we rocking, whatever. We ate together, laughed, and I'm glad that, we'd have been taking selfies if it was today, but we was just chilling, right? So we go to perform, and then I look to the side of the stage, and there's Lou Rawls, you know what I mean? And he was actually enjoying it because Donald Byrd, Lonnie Liston Smith, Roy Ayers, they were with us. We were all on tour together. So he knew them guys as well. And Bernard Purdy, I'm sure you're a drummer, so you know Bernard, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we all on tour together. So we're with them, so he kind of knew them, so he's standing there. And then he had that different take of it afterwards, man. To me, that was so dope, because I was like, he was that little dude from that little era, like I said, stuck in his time, like you said, little haircut, whatever, man, natural man, Lou. And then he got to he really came out and stood there and rocked with us. Being that we were with, like I said, those guys, Donald Byrd and Roy Ayers and all these classic guys anyway. And he was there too listening, and he enjoyed it, man. It was just a beautiful thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So, yeah, man, 100%. But listen, shoot, man, we're not gonna keep you much longer. It was so great for you to come, man, and just share some time. And what I would like to know, so, like you said, so now, are you guys still collectively doing things, or is B Fine doing some things by himself, or?
No, not right now. It's just me and my two brothers. We're gonna be doing some things that's gonna be really kind of dope. Yeah, especially as far as films.
Right.
As far as films. Yeah.
Okay. So that's beautiful, man. So,
how involved are you in the mixing and mastering process of the songs?
Oh, no, we're always involved heavily on the mixing. You know, as far as the mastering, we'll show up, just listen to it and stuff like that. But the mixing, we've always been involved in the mixing.
Yeah.
Always. I would drive engineers crazy, you know, because I remember. See, the thing is that there's an engineer. I mean, we brought him in the game. There was a guy named Glenn Rosenstein who was our engineer, and you know, Glenn started feeling like, hey, I want to start getting points, because back in the day, certain engineers would ask for points and stuff like that.
Right.
And we were like, but we don't need you to produce. That's what we do. So we don't need. He said, all right, well, guys, I'm going to go to Nashville then, you know, and try to do my thing. I said, okay, cool. I'll never forget. I turned to the assistant engineer. I said, yo, T, you know how to use the SSL board, right? He goes, yeah, I know how to use it, yeah, but I've never used it. I said, but then you told me that you recorded your local band from Boston here. He goes, yeah, on weekends when nobody's here, but that's it. I said, all right, well, cool, that's good enough. So be ready. Next week we got, who do we have then? I know we had Samantha Fox. We had James Brown, and we're gonna do some demos on, I forget who he was working with, 4 different people, because there was times when we had 3 rooms at Sigma Sound. We would be in all 3 studios, you know, at the same time. So we baptized him by fire. We did James Brown with Tony Maserati, and that's how
next week.
Yeah, that's a little.
Yeah, that's what happened.
That's pressure.
He learned quick, I guess.
Yeah,
that was a hell of a session, because James Brown was going through a lot of stuff at that time. He was messing with drugs, and that was some heavy shit.
His car chase days.
Huh? Yeah, it was crazy. Yeah, it was during that time.
Yeah.
And that engineer ended up being Tony Maserati. You know, Tony Maserati is a very well-respected engineer in the game, but we brought him in the game, you know. So we were very heavily into the mixing. What would happen is that, you know, what I would do a lot of times is the engineer would be working on the track for 4 or 5 hours. I would just leave, go in the city, hang out, Latin Quarter, whatever, come back to the studio, and I would listen to the track and say, all right, Tony, let me see. All right, take all the tracks out. And I would make them bring up each track one by one at the level of where they had it. And I'd be like, the kick. All right, give me the snare. Give me the sum. Give me the hi-hat. Okay, cool. Give me the bass. All right, give me the pads. Give me the, cool. All right, let me get the line. Give me the tag line. Vocals. Yo, there's too much compression on the vocals, Tony. And what's all that verb? It sounds too pop. What do yo, you gotta change it. But if y'all like it like that, cool. It would drive him crazy. Crazy.
But if you like it like that, cool.
Yeah, because he had to deal with so many different people. Because my brother Paul, all he cared about was the vocals. Jerry, the keyboard player, Jerry's the most all-around talent in full force. Baby Jerry. You know, Jerry would be listening for the keyboards, the sounds, and so it was, you know, it was hell for an engineer. But to answer your question, we was always very, very involved in the mix. Yeah,
it's crazy too, because when you say about James Brown, so that would be the latter days, and Bernard Purdy was drumming for James Brown in the younger days. They talk about the fines and all that stuff that James used to do. You know what I mean, with them, and if you are bad or beat or didn't come in right and notes was off, he was talking to people. It was crazy just to even hear that level of it, you know, from them dudes being young men.
James Brown was actually telling us stories like that. The craziest stories is when we had Maceo Parker, the horn player, come in and do certain parts.
Right.
You know, a lot of the things that went down, you know, actually certain things that was going down in the studio we could never talk about. Like Rolling Stone magazine was coming in. I remember we went to Radio City because Lisa had sold it out at that time. And Eddie Murphy showed up, and there was press all around because Baby Jerry and Eddie Murphy was in the same class, you know?
Right.
And what's crazy is in their same yearbook, and he still has it, they had them side by side. Eddie was the guy most likely to succeed, and they said Jerry was the most talented in the same yearbook, which was so interesting. You know,
That's amazing. That's amazing. That's amazing.
That's dope.
It's funny because Jerry, as you said, Baby Jerry, but he was the one in that band that looked like a little kid. Like, So I know exactly like who the dude is. You know what I mean? Because everybody had on vests. You know what I'm saying? And a few dudes didn't have no muscles, but everybody looked like it. So,
We carried it. Me and my brother carried the image for everybody.
How tall are you dudes? You and your brothers?
6 feet.
Okay, and them two?
Lou and Paul a little shorter than me, like 5'10".
Wow. Yeah, see, that shit had dudes looking like superheroes. Right.
It was always like that. People always like that. Our whole image, our whole persona was just big. It was like that.
Did any people, but like I went through some things because of the visuals, like on the road of fans. Like, did you ever have people that wanted to like try to test you because of that? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, you know something? We didn't have it crazy, but we had that. But see, the thing with us is that our whole entire crew,
right?
We trained our crew. Our crew are all the guys we grew up with on the block.
Right.
You know where we grew up at. We grew up from Bedside to East Flatbush, and I grew up. I loved being in East Flatbush. I mean, over where I lived, you had Charles over here, Tookie over here, Lil Sean down the block from me over here, Haitian Jack right around the corner. We all grew up together.
Haitian Jack's my man.
I grew up with some real official cats, you know. So the deal is that, you know, my friends were our roadies, you know, our crew. So when something jumped off, it jumped off. But people didn't really try us a lot. They didn't really try us a lot. They really didn't, which was a good thing.
So because sometimes when I talk about it, it's like it's verbal, you know what I mean, and then a couple of times might have a couple of things escalate, but it was just the whole crew. Our crew was, you know, some New York official cats too, like around Gang Starr. So you know, but just because sometimes you was big or whatever, and they were jealous of how the fans were, you know, women or whatever. It was the stuff like that. But I know that that's people wanting to see, like, whether it happened or not, to be, well, you really strong, or you really, you know what I mean? So I mean,
it's funny. We were real fortunate that way. That a lot of, you know, every town we went to, all of the real official hustlers and gangsters would always pick us up. You know, pick us up. We were so, I don't know what it was about us that we was always cool with the most gangsterous of gangster dudes in all the different cities.
Right.
It was always like that for us. The dudes favored us. You know, I think it was our image, and we never came off like unapproachable. Like when we see dudes in the club, we was super cool with the dudes, and dudes like, yo, man, y'all are mad cool. We didn't know y'all was like that.
There was no
We've
ego.
always been like that. None.
It would be the same. It would be the same. It would be the same with Guru and myself. The only difference would be, so when you were doing music and you know, like say Full Force, what happened? So you had the element of a musical group, like you said, the hip hop, rock, everything together. Whereas for some reason, people felt like when it was just hip hop by itself, that you were gonna get more grime, like, you know, you were gonna get more.
Absolutely.
Like, you know what I mean? Listen, like I never, I might only went once or twice to a concert, and some fights broke out when it was a band that we went to see, and it was only because cats was like bum rushed to get in. Like when we went to see Rick James when I was like 16, or you know what I mean, shows like that, Cameo somewhere, and those would be the beat. It wasn't that the fans that were there weren't them type of fans. It was more, you know, it was more love, more partying. But when it became more hip hop 100%, then you got a few heads that's like, you know, yo, where y'all from? Y'all ain't really, you know what I mean? So that, you know, I understand it wholeheartedly, man. It was just a question in that regard. But Yo, I'm good, man. Chef Tanya Nicole, I know you got something to ask. So, let's get it popping.
Well, we always ask the question, what are your 10 favorite producers? They don't have to be top.
Rappers.
Oh, excuse me, rappers. Well, we usually ask both questions.
Yeah, well, we can do.
Well,
Then
I tell you what. So this is what we'll do, because, like, I know, because I was sliding the social plate. So that part right there, right? I'm glad you did say that. So what we can do right here, we would like to know, being that you're a band and affiliated with hip hop as well.
Rap.
mm-hmm.
To you, what are your top 5 bands of all time? And then I want you to give me your top 5 hip hop acts of all time.
Top 5 bands of all time for me would be Earth, Wind and Fire.
Of course.
Yes.
Of course.
Sly and the Family Stone.
Another one.
Sly and the Family Stone. It would probably have to be probably Bon Jovi in there.
Okay.
In there. It would probably be Heat Wave.
Heat Wave for sure.
Heat Wave, and probably there's a few I'm leaving out, but it would have to be Cameo, especially early Cameo.
Yes. Yeah.
That's a good
Yeah.
one.
Cameo.
Interesting.
It's funny because I don't know, we got to be from the same era, because those are bands that, like, I definitely was riding with hard. Like, it's wild too, because I just was having a conversation about the silky, first of all, the brilliance of Heat Wave,
Mhm.
but the incredible voice of the young man that was the lead singer who passed, and I'm like, man, I was just talking about that, how that it was just. If that never happened to them, even the heights that group would have went to, it was just, Heat Wave was something else, man.
Those bands had a profound effect on us and me, for sure. And Cameo, I remember when we toured for Cameo, like for a month and a half, I was like we would do our best to try to bust their ass. And we would kill it. And then after we kill it, we would come and be backstage with the towels around next to be like, yeah, follow that.
Yeah.
And they would come out, and I'll never forget, from out of the ground with the music trembling, the coffin would come out, and the door would open, and Larry Blackman would be there with that red jockstrap thing in their head, and he would just go, ow, and and they go into candy, and the place would go better. No matter how hard we rocked, they would rock harder.
Yo, let me tell you, and all you had to hear was that
bad. It was Bad Boys.
That little shit that went ooh, 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 like that was it. Once you heard that, it was a rap. Hey, huh?
What was that sound you just made?
It was. I don't know what it was, but it used to go. Ooh, ooh, ooh. You know what I mean? I don't know what the hell they was. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah. That was a keyboard sound they did. They had.
Yeah, that shit was crazy. Every song you knew. Oh shit, it comes Cameo. But the crazy thing is dope. I'm gonna ask you a question about 5 rappers as well. But one thing that's dope too is that I look at you right now and I see this is you. And when you rock, it's gonna be time to rock. But Larry Blackman still comes out with that red jockstrap. And I'm like, yo, it looks kind of wild. But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got on from a few things, man, but I guess he ain't moving off from that, man. Even though he's a lot bigger and everything, it looks crazy, man. But hey, if you see it, you're like, wow, man. But go ahead, Larry, because I'm gonna still jam with it.
Hip hop would have that's a hard one. But I would go to Hove. No, not Hove first. I would actually go Rakim first.
Of course.
Biggie, Hove, Big Daddy Kane, and I would probably say KRS.
Say one more.
KRS, KRS and Nas. The thing I love about Nas is that I personally felt a lot of Nas tracks was just all right, but he was so dope. He would make you like the track.
Right.
He was that dope lyrically. And I believe that Nas brought the level of your lyrics and wordplay to another level. The same way Rakim did too.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know, but Nas's, his thought patterns for like his lyrics, a lot of his tracks was like, if anybody rapped on Nas tracks, we wouldn't even know who the hell they are. They would never become famous, ever. But Nas is so dope, he makes you think the tracks are dope. But the tracks is cool. Maybe one or two were like really dope, like one mic, but a lot of the tracks was like cool. Like up to this day, to me, like people like, yo, the beat of Ether, oh my God. No, the beat ain't oh my God. Nas is on that track. That's what's oh my God.
He did because if anything, there was a certain synastry to the beat, but it wasn't like the craziest beat. It was more about like what he was saying and how cadence. This cadence
Nas was on Ether. If anybody else is on Ether, it don't have that effect. Now people would do Ether over because Nas made it what it was. But if Nas never touched that record and somebody did that track, we would never hear of it. We would never hear it. Nas was that thing.
One thing though that I can't, one track, and we're speaking on Nas, one track though that I feel like it almost embodied him and the story that he was telling. And I thought it was fly, not just because it was premiere, but it was that New York State of Mind joint. It's just like, when he cool. The way, to me, I felt like how he was riding that. And he was telling that story, man. To me, that was what stood out to me. You know what I mean? So
I just love the like Ain't Hard to Tell, that type of shit. That track and like Nas leave you froze like Rihanna, your nose. I mean, Nas is just some other type of shit.
Yeah, he was, man. You know what I'm saying? Even the original, we had Lodge Professor on here. Shout out to Lodge Professor a few weeks back, and he was talking about the barbecue when I first ever heard Nas. You know what I mean? When he came out, I went to jail for snuffing Jesus. And like the way he just jumped out, and you were like, damn, yo, who's this little dude? He's like 15 or something. You know what I mean? And to see what he blossomed to was crazy, man. Like a good story. But listen, man, we appreciate you coming, man.
No problem, man.
Sharing your time, and please give a shout out to your brothers as well, man. And
will do.
Keep pushing, man. And I'm looking forward to whatever's next. And we appreciate you coming through. And Tanya, you want to just hit that last thing?
Yeah, please let us know your socials so that everyone can stay up to tune to what you're doing and what projects you're coming out with.
Well, wow, what's my thing? I'm just on BFine and BG on Instagram and on Facebook. If you go to Full Force World Facebook, I forgot how much followers we have. I think it's 700,000 now, something like that. But yeah, I'm just looking forward to what we're going to be doing going into 24 and 25. It's going to be really dope as far as content.
We love that for you.
Really dope.
Looking forward to it.
So listen, like I said, once again, we appreciate you, brother.
No problem.
Have a blessed rest of the night. And as you move forward, man, continue to prosper and continue to be B-Fine, B-Funk, B-Fizzle, all of that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
No doubt, man.
All right, baby.
Thank
you.
All right.
Peace, bro. Thank you so much, man. That was cool. But what's going on in the world of hip hop, Big Shug? What's going on this week?
Well,
Big Shug having a snack.
99.
I'm not gonna say much, but I think it's rather comical. One thing, Soulja Boy and Blueface going back and forth on the internet, arguing about who's ganging, who's gonna bang, who's doing this. One's calling one a police, whatever. It's so ridiculous because the times we're in, people are listening to it, but it's crazy because one dude's worth about 40 million plus, and the other dude's worth about 4 million plus. So what it's saying, the bottom end of the day, y'all are rich. Go out and chill. Blueface threw some shots at him, telling him that he was a Disney kid. He was telling him he was Corey Baxter, if anybody's familiar with the Disney. So he's saying you like a cartoon. And the dude's returning ball, he's saying, dude, you don't know what time it is, whatever. The thing I'm just saying is it's the world we're in, social media, them dudes, man, it's not real beef because real beef isn't done on screen. We all know that. All that is recitals for police officers. You know what I mean? So, if anything happens, then they know where to look and who they're going to come after. So that's kind of chips. Another thing I want to talk about too, a little briefly, is the fact that you got a couple people coming out started by KRS-One. I'm talking about the reason why he hasn't come to any Hip Hop 50 events is because he feels the audacity of the Grammys to want to celebrate 50 years of hip hop now, but not any other years. Why did they wait to get to 50 years before celebrating?
We're gonna celebrate this is the 37th year of hip hop.
I mean,
like,
basically,
they gave Will Smith a Grammy 30 fucking years ago. You know, that's my personal opinion. I mean, yeah, there should have been more, maybe hip hop represented here and there. Doesn't necessarily means these albums should have won Grammys. Just because we like them or this and that, like, doesn't always how it always works. You know.
Well, what it is too is the stubbornness of them feeling like when it was the right time to do this type of situation because.
Well, I'm sure they did a 25. Did they do a 25-year-old?
Yeah, they could have.
Did they?
Huh?
Did they? I'm asking.
No, they could have. I'm saying they could have. They didn't.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I'm saying. So part of it I understand, but on the other hand, let's continue to celebrate. So let's do this from now on or whatever.
Right.
All right, we're here. Sometimes it takes a little longer. You know what I mean?
Sometimes
people
it
used
takes
to pick
longer for other people to appreciate and recognize and realize what it actually has done for the culture and just for society as a whole. Like
it's not even that.
Hip-hop doesn't have a color anymore.
Yeah, but the thing about it is, when they come down to award shows, this is what happened. They did 100% exclude black people from award shows in the past.
No one's saying
like,
no.
For sure, I'm saying the
100%.
50s, the 60s, 70s, started maybe in the 70s.
Right.
They started winning awards and this and that. But they tried to do the same thing with Hollywood. Remember? Oscar's so black and this and that, and then they just nominated everybody of color got nominated for the Oscar, and now those same groups of people think the Oscars it isn't worth anything anymore, and that's what I'm thinking. They did probably think rap wasn't going to be worth shit when rap came out,
but they realized they were wrong.
Yeah, they definitely were wrong. I mean, there's like every aspect of music on that stage has some sort of hip hop entwined into it. The country music has the trap drum. The R&B music all the R&B music, it's just slow rap beats. Like that's what hip hop infected everything. So I feel it is represented, but KRS-One's music from 2009 or 2023 shouldn't be fucking in the conversation for a Grammy. So the fact that you're not asked to be there doesn't blow my mind.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, so I look at it like this. I get one side of it, but I also know that. So from the door getting kicked in, we must proceed. So now, as we proceed, man, now we got from this time out. We're here now. It's basically like we're here now.
Yeah.
So let's make this. Man, let's go above and beyond. Let's just take control of it as we always have.
Sometimes
they don't control it.
Forward, yes, 100%.
He's probably thinking that like it's being controlled by the powers that be, and rightfully so. It's almost like so now. If I don't know if you've been following or anyone, there's this documentary, HBO documentary, Murder in Boston, about the Charles Stewart story. If anybody knows, in a nutshell, it's about a couple, Charles Stewart and his wife, coming home from a class, I believe. She's pregnant. They were coming from Brigham Women's, I believe, and they were. She was shot. They were both shot. It went crazy because Charles Stewart, the man that was shot, and his wife was shot in the head and killed instantly, basically. He claimed that a black man had did it. And so they terrorized the whole black neighborhood looking for this guy. In a nutshell, you can watch the HBO documentary. I basically lived through it, so I seen what was going on. It turned out that Charles Stewart was the one that shot his wife and himself.
Spoiler alert.
When they were
he said you can watch it, and then
it's not really a spoiler alert because the story itself is already known.
Oh, okay.
It's just that now they're showing you. You didn't know about it because you're not in the know. But what I'm saying is, the reason why I say this, because the documentary isn't to tell you that he did that, because everybody knows that you should. Like, the documentary is basically showing you how the city was, and how just by the word of someone, how black people were terrified and harassed for this falsified statement because the town chose to be racist. They chose it. I mean, that's what you're going to see when you see this documentary. You're going to say, "Wow," you know what I mean? That's what the story is. But today, as of this our taping, Mayor Wu has offered an apology, to the living relatives and the people that went through all this, trauma and stuff. She just did that, like, I think yesterday or what have you. But it's crazy because it took all those years, but she did the right thing. Before her, it was Menino, and them. They could have all did that,
Mumbles?
but none of them did. Huh?
Mumbles Menino? Oh my God.
Yep, they could have did that, but none of them did. So okay. I give kudos to her. But if you haven't watched it, watch the Murder in Boston, the Charles Stewart story, and go from there. It's a good watch.
Did you see her her No Whites Allowed Christmas party?
Oh boy. The danger zone. That's where she's at.
Mayor Wu, she had a No Whites Allowed Christmas party. You didn't see that shit?
Yeah, they sent out an invitation.
That shit was global news, bro.
And it was accidentally sent to people not of color.
Yeah, she had an event, a
and
party.
Then instead of just being like, you're invited anyway, they basically sent like a retraction of the invitation to those people. Like,
so she was having a Christmas party. It was for no
whites allowed.
Yeah,
well, they didn't say, but it was I guess
color people only. That's what she said.
Like a inclusion event.
Hold on.
That's how I'm gonna word it.
Yo, hold on one second. Because y'all are kind of clashing. I'm trying to get to clarity. So, is there a sign that are you saying there was something that said no whites in the party?
No, there was no sign.
Okay, hold up.
No, the sign.
Which one of y'all gonna tell me?
There wasn't. It didn't say no whites, but it said people of color only.
Okay. All right. That's all I wanted to know.
So she got all national, global news.
I didn't hear that part. Wow, it said people of color only on the thing. I thought it was just the email list was supposed to be sent to the people of color, and it got sent to everyone.
Oh, it got sent to everyone?
Like people.
I know it got sent to some people. I know
not
everyone.
Of color.
So what? Everyone that works for the city of Boston got it?
No, not everyone. Like a certain staff level, but it was people of color that was supposed to go, or it was an inclusion because I don't know exactly. It might have not just been people of color, and then those people who were not the intended audience. Instead of saying like, oh, this was like an invite only party and it just got, she basically uninvited the
crackers.
The people not of color.
The people of lack color.
No, hey, no, we'll do, right? What we'll do is, so we'll pull it up and then, we'll get the clarity on it at a later time. Oh, shit. But, what else you got, man? Because, hey, I know we did a lot already.
Yeah.
So.
Wait, hold
on. Geez, I got a lot. I mean, I don't got a lot. I got, Cardi B and Offset
10%.
Cardi B and Offset finally call it quits as, she has an absolute well-deserved meltdown on social media and calls him out live on all his bullshit. It was pretty funny to listen to. Even when Cardi B's mad, boiling mad, she's hilarious. You know what I'm saying? I find her funny. And even when she's like, you can tell, you can hear it in her voice how mad she is.
She's so mad.
And she's still nailing jokes left and right.
She's like, she was killing it. You know what? Cardi.
I'll probably get it. If I probably had it, because of my life and what I went through and up to this point and all that shit, I probably feel like if I was rich, for real, like, not what they tell the people on social media that I'm rich, but if I was really rich for real, I think I would just have a shirt on that says, I'm not mad, I'm rich. Because I wouldn't even give a fuck about half the shit people give a fuck about. And that might have to do with my maturity level and where I'm at in life. But I mean, I just would be like, come on, I might
Yeah,
live
you know
somewhere
what,
where I
though?
don't even got.
Fucking money can't buy everything, and even Bill Gates was probably sad when his wife was like, "I'm out of here." You know what I'm saying? So
Now listen. Now hold up. You said something there. You said something right there. That's pretty cool. You said even he was sad.
yeah,
So he could have been. He could have been, but we don't really know. Like okay. So listen, money, as we know too, is power though. It's power. So if we're sitting on $1 billion, so we can say whatever we want to say, but I don't know, the way you conduct your life is going to be a lot different. Some is the same, but a lot's going to be different in the way it is exactly today.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's just from where you live at, from now that everybody knows I'm worth $1 billion, all these people that come around me, like all that's just going to change. That's the bottom line. You know what I mean? So, yeah, he might have been sad, but we know he's going to get another wife or whatever he chooses to do. So money it doesn't conquer everything, but you know what?
It helps.
I think if you went through enough and you dealt with enough in life and you've seen a lot of things, you can get to a point where having money, you'll be good. Because like, yo, if like your wife left you right now, you got a wife and she left you right now. So people ain't just gonna say, hey, you're rich as hell, I'm leaving you. There had to be a reason why that happened. So
speaking of,
all right, boom, that was what happened if you was rich or poor, like whatever. So it's like, hey, me right now, give me 100 billion, whatever. You'll be like, damn, I never seen you fucking smile like that every day, right?
Speaking of a billion, I just got two quick shout outs before our shit dies here. I want to shout out
Better court.
Ice Cube for passing 1 billion
1 billion
streams on Today Was a Good Day, and I want to shout out
37 cents for that.
I want to shout out Draymond Green for being like the only person I can remember being kicked out of the league.
Wow.
For being a bully on the court. I don't really remember it ever happening. I can't remember.
About you, Big Shug?
I can't remember someone being kicked out for that.
You know who got kicked out? You know who got kicked out for the the Malice in the Palace though, right?
Yeah, but he came back.
Yeah.
Like Ron Artest.
Yeah, so
he was just suspended. This guy's like suspended indefinitely, which means like he's probably not coming back.
I'm gonna give you the rest of the stories. So Ron Artest was suspended. It was supposed to be indefinitely, and they let him come back from whatever he went through. Whatever.
So he appealed.
Yeah.
Latrell Sprewell choked the shit out the coach. He was done. Period. You know what I mean? So he and Draymond Green, which I just found out today. I'm glad you said that. So he's going to anger management and all that classes right now. And they expect him to be back in about 3 weeks.
They're working on
you know what I mean? So,
and the last thing I wanted to say before we do the best part of the week.
Before you get to that, Dio. But have you caught any of those highlight shits, the wrestle shits that they've done with Draymond Green and all the fights?
No, I think I have. I think I've seen a couple of them. Yeah,
I haven't.
Man, listen, and the sound effects. The sound effects is crazy. I mean, he got stuff where he's kicking people in the nuts, in the ass, stomping on them, slapping the shit out of them.
But he really did all these things, though.
So funny.
So
if you put that montage together, it's like, damn, you gotta be suspended. Just get that montage and look at that shit and say, is this basketball? You know what I mean? Come on, go ahead, man.
The last thing I wanted to talk about was, listen how crazy this is. Taraji P. Henson, who I think is awesome.
I love her.
I think
Girl crush.
I think she's one of the better actresses over the generation.
She's dope.
Says she's quitting acting because she doesn't make enough money, and so I looked it up, and she gets $10 million plus a movie, right? And she's saying that the money she makes in the movie, you know, once you pay your agent and your publicist and everything like that,
believe that.
that she doesn't make enough. And then she says, and the team, which to me sounds like there's a whole bunch of people.
Well, you gotta pay the makeup person that you have to appearances and you have to have that person on payroll.
Let me tell you
have
something.
a hairdresser. You have
in the great words
in
the great words of Fire Marshal Bill. Let me tell you something. Right? I'm gonna tell you right now. So I believe when it was at its height, Rush Hour, Chris Tucker was getting $20 million a movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's, to me, whatever money you're getting or whatever the situation is, It's in the negotiations. It's in who's doing that work for you. You know what I mean? Because when things were popular, like even Ice Cube doing those Fridays, whatever, when them things became popular, you're calling the numbers on that. You know what I mean? Or like Will Smith. Come on, man. You think Will Smith gets $10 million a movie? Come on. It's got to be way higher than that. You know, it's what the demand is and who's handling your negotiations.
But regardless, if you're giving up fucking 70% of your salary, you're giving up as this actress who needs all these people in her life. That's still,
you shouldn't be doing that though, right?
That's still you're doing 3 movies a year at $10 million, so you're still making $9 million. And the worst case scenario, you're making $9 million a year. I don't know. Where are you gonna go? What are you gonna do? Where are you gonna go?
I don't know. Maybe she got a plan. Maybe she's gonna direct or something. Maybe she's gonna make more money. I don't know.
You know what I'm gonna do?
Invest in businesses. She's gonna be a mogul.
I'm gonna go to the.
Be a real estate agent.
I'm gonna go to Caribbean. I'm gonna go to Caribbean Island and drink liquor out of one of them cups that looks like a pineapple and put a straw in it and sip that shit all day long.
It sounds to me, before we head off of this, it sounds to me that she might need a better agent and maybe not.
Because she's awesome.
Maybe not leave the business because she's actually very good at it.
I think she's amazing.
Yeah.
Hey, you ever heard of the name? Betancourt?
Betancourt?
Yes, my friend's last name is Betancourt.
See,
I just heard of this. I just was looking up these women today, the richest women in the world. And it's somebody Betancourt something. I just remember that part of the name. Mm-hmm. And the woman is like worth $94 billion.
Nice.
I'm thinking like I was going to see
I think
Oprah.
that's the lady that they have a documentary out. Is she Parisian?
She's probably Portuguese.
It's Betancourt is in her name. Betancourt's in her name.
I think that's.
So what I'm just saying is, it was 10 women.
10.
And the richest women in the world, 10 women, and the 10th woman was 21 point something billion. So because I'm looking to see if I see Oprah in them. Shoot, these women are double-digit billionaires. It's ridiculous.
Just imagine how rich their husbands are.
No, you did. Yeah. The danger zone.
Yeah.
Stop.
Hey,
you need to stop.
Hey, Oprah Winfrey is worth 2.2 billion plus. Her boyfriend's worth 10. So I mean, 10 million. So it is what it is.
Yeah.
Who's paying for dinner, yo? You know what I'm saying?
Stedman got money.
All right, so I guess shout out to Be Fine. That was a cool interview.
Yeah, that was a good interview.
That was dope. Haven't done an interview in a while, so that was cool.
Yeah.
Let me just tell the people that Be Fine thing was really dope because I was a fan of the group and things that they did. But it's just like him coming and chopping up with like that, man. We haven't had any interviews in a few weeks. Been kind of cool, and we're gonna bring some more as we move forward. But man, it was a good interview, man. We appreciate you for coming through. Yeah. But right about now,
it's about that.
It's that time for Stupid as Hell.
Now, at one point, I had a different Stupid as Hell, and it could have very well had been Draymond Green. Trust me.
Yeah.
They said shit stupid as hell. It really is. Playing basketball. Now, back in the days, basketball players fought for real. Like dudes getting punched in the face. The great Kareem Abdul-Jabbar knocked out Kent Benson. Bob Lanier slapped up a few people. Like I seen beefs. Like where dudes got punched. Rudy Tomjanovich, man, got punched in the face, and by Kermit Washington, his face got sunk in 4 inches. They had to put screws around it and pull it out. And this would happen during the game. Like listen. And he came back to play. He came back to play after getting his face sunk in. So that's when fights was real. This shit Draymond is doing is basically like bullying. It's some stupid shit because it's like dudes you're doing it to. Like he ain't doing it to everybody. Because trust me, there's definitely some dudes in the NBA that's rah-rah that will give it back to you or serve it. You know what to do. You know to choke out soft-ass Rudy Gobert. You know what I mean? You know how to slap that big dude he just slapped and he's gonna crumble to the ground. Dude, you 7 feet tall and he slapped you, not even hard, and you fell to the ground. One dude he kicked in the ass. The dude's come on, man. You know who to do that to. But anyway, this week's Stupid as Hell is Minnesota guard Anthony Edwards. The reason why I say he's stupid as hell is because he got together with an Instagram model, was having sex with her, kicking it with her, that was his girl or whatever, and then she got pregnant. And he was like, I ain't ready for no kids. And she was like, oh, well, pay me X amount of dollars and blah, 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 right? But I'm going to have this kid. So this is all on social media. They've been going back and forth. texting, and it was presented like that. So now everybody's seen it. Stephen A. Smith just had a rant about it, but everybody's seen it. The stupid thing about it is, and this is for every person too. Listen, when you're going to have sex in 2023 and beyond, and as we known before, if you don't have a condom on and you're having sex, the chances are there's a possibility for someone to get pregnant. That's life. That we all know that shit.
Especially nowadays.
And then he even said something on some.
Stop.
He even he even said something on there about like ain't no women get my money. Yo, dude, anytime you're doing that raw like that, someone gets pregnant. This is what can happen. So I think that it's going to be very brief. I usually have dialogue more over that, but it wasn't necessary because the story's been told. But he's this week stupid as hell because, first and foremost, you can't just keep running around having sex with people, especially when you're a high profile, high money making dude like that in the NBA or any other sport or entertainer. That's number one. And number two, you have a conversation back and forth, dumb shit, where people expose it up, that the whole world sees that. Because the bottom line is sex. The bottom line is you saw this person, you got together, y'all, she's an Instagram model, whatever. Everybody's trying to get bread. Look at that Donald Sterling was taken down as the owner of the Clippers because he was saying some shit in the model chick he messing with, he 80-something. He might messing with her, she taping it. You know what I mean? Because of that, he lost his team. You know what I mean? And we don't know where he's at now. But I mean,
people are out here losing things.
Hold on, it's such a weird sport to be involved with and not like black people and be racist. It's so. I mean, like, yes, you're just making money. It's not whatever, but it's different sitting down.
Money.
Yeah, it's just like crazy to me. Like,
well, listen,
I understand
here's what it is, brother. Here's what it is, DL. So you remember back in the day when there were no black players allowed to play in these sports.
Yeah.
And then when people started doing it, so a place. Do you know which team was the first? We're gonna get back to stupid Anthony Edwards in a second, but you know what team was the first team to start 5 black players in the NBA in a game?
To start 5? Probably.
Yes.
To start 5. The Lakers.
So boom, let me give it to you like this. It's supposed to be known as the most racist town ever, besides basketball anyway. But the people the team that did it's supposed to be the most racist town. So now you got the answer.
Oh, so Boston, yes, it's definitely the most racist town, bro.
So
it's
I don't know
bad.
because you go to Mississippi and some of them other ones, it's pretty heavy.
Yeah, that's yes, you are correct about that, but that's more in your face racism instead of the people who are afraid to say it to people and just live the life of I don't like these people, I don't like those, I don't like Puerto Rican people. Hey Jose, how you doing? Oh, you're my man, you're my buddy. Man, I hate Puerto Rican people, man. Like that exists so much out here.
So this is what I was saying about racism with that. So they start 5 black players. It's supposed to be the most racist place ever. Once they start doing that, guess what? Everybody else was doing it. You know what I mean? Everybody else was signing players.
Yeah, but how many years had black players been in the league until that day? 30? That just happened to be...
No, wait a minute. No, not 30, man.
I don't know. I'm just asking.
This is way back.
I'm asking.
No, this is way back. This is when Bill Russell was playing.
Yeah, so but they were already in the league for decades, right?
Do you know that they were always? Do you know that they were also the first team to ever even sign a black player? The Celtics.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chuck Cooper.
Chuck Cooper.
And so listen, what I'm saying is, once somebody does it, then everybody else does it. So what I was trying to get at was the fact that they might not necessarily like it, but they say, hey, we're going to be a better team. We're going to be a better team.
Like
we let these people play.
Against money, against the green.
Yeah.
Like, so, if it's gonna make them money, they're gonna like it. But at the end of the day, it's like, oh, it's a new way of doing business.
And at the end of the day, you just ask them, do you like fries? And they said, what? Do you like fries?
The danger zone.
And know what they're gonna say when you say that? Yes. Right. Hey, yo, listen, right?
No, see.
On some real shit though, Anthony Edwards this week. Stupid as hell. You're young, so you can grow and get off the stupid list. But yo, keep your business to yourself. Keep your penis protected and move forward and make millions, man, and bring enjoyment to the world. You know what I mean? And we leaving it like that. Another dope session.
Hell yeah.
Another, another dope time spending with my compadres,
Thank you,
Mr.
Big
DL
Sir.
and Shannon Nicole. You know what I mean? And as we move forward, 98, we got, next time I see you guys, it'll be after Christmas. So, enjoy Christmas if you do. And those out there, if you enjoy Christmas, do so. If it's Kwanzaa, if it's Hanukkah, or if it's like you don't celebrate anything, you're just together. Because a lot of places are closed, you're going to celebrate each other anyway. So this holiday season, have a great one. We appreciate y'all, and we're out. One more thing I got to say. Excuses have no purpose.
So don't make them.
Don't make them. Right. Yeah. And as we grow, we glow.
Oh.
We got 98 episodes in. You know what I'm saying? We in it to win it, man, for real. We're going to be here till we go there. That's how it is. Peace. On my dark days.
On my dark days, I chopped crack on the regular. Ran up in spots and clapped on the regular. Took big fat ass stacks from the register. No matter how hard they tried, they still couldn't measure the hard I have.